In October of 2025, Jetour invited me down to Cape Town to experience the launch of their latest products. Two cars stood at the center of it all, the T1 and this, the T2. Now, if you've been following my content for a while, you'll know that the T2 wasn't just another SUV launch, because before it even landed in South Africa, my comments section was already filled with questions like, when is the T2 coming? Is it really that good? Is it the next big Jetour? So expectations were really high. I even dubbed this the most anticipated car in South Africa. The launch itself, well, that was incredible. The setting was perfect, the energy was amazing, and the cars, everything just felt right. But there was one thing missing. We didn't get to drive them. And that's where the story really begins. A month later, in November, another invite landed. This time, Jetour wasn't asking us to look, they wanted us to experience. We flew down to Pietermaritzburg and we were transported to the Midlands, arriving at Foldon Hotel and Spa. And outside the hotel, parked neatly in a row where the cars would be driving all the way back to Johannesburg. This was no closed course, no short loops, just real roads, real driving, and real distance. I climbed into the Jetour T2 Dark Knight Edition, and from that moment, the tone of the trip just changed. On that very same day when we landed, I took the T2 through the back roads of the Midlands heading towards Midmar Dam. And if you know those roads, you know that they're not forgiving. Tight corners, elevation changes, and surfaces that quickly tell you that the car is pretending or it's capable. And this is where the T2 really surprised me. It didn't lean or feel unsure of itself. It stayed composed through the corners. It felt confident under braking. And when you pressed the throttle, it responded properly. Not aggressively, not nervously, just confidently. And as you guys know, the T2 Dark Knight Edition is running a 2-liter turbo petrol engine pushing out 180 kilowatts and 370 newton meters of torque. It's paired to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission and drives all 4 wheels. But what mattered most wasn't the numbers. What matters was how effortless it felt. You didn't have to work for the performance, the car just gave it to you. As I was adding on the kilometers, the interior started to matter more and more. And this is where Jetour has clearly been listening to its customers. The seats aren't just faux leather, they are ventilated, supportive, and comfortable enough that you forget how long you've been driving. The 15.6-inch touchscreen infotainment isn't there to just impress on paper. It makes navigation and phone mirroring, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, simple and stress-free. The digital gauge cluster keeps everything clear and easy to read, while the grab handles and the rugged touches remind you that this isn't meant to feel delicate, it's meant to feel rugged, it's meant to show adventure. And I know what you're thinking, with an infotainment screen that big, they probably shoved everything in there. Well, while you're partially right, they did keep some important functionality outside of it. You have buttons for your climate control. You also have your driving modes right where you need them, on the center console. You have USB ports front and rear, a panoramic sunroof that makes the cabin feel airy and open, even on long stretches of road. Nothing feels added just for marketing. Everything feels like it was considered for the average consumer. The drive back to Johannesburg is where the T2 started to show its true personality. The N3 demands stability, comfort, and effortless power, and it handled it with the utmost of ease. Cruising at highway speeds felt relaxing, and we all know the N3 is full of trucks, but overtaking didn't require any planning. The cabin stayed quiet, and the seats were very comfortable. This is the kind of car you arrive less tired in, and that matters more than most people realize. Now, Jetour claims a combined consumption of 9.3 litres to the 100, so I paid attention, and on the Midlands backroads drive to Midmar Dam, I saw figures as low as 7.4 litre to the 100, and on the open highway back to Johannesburg, the figures set between 8.5 to 9.4 litres, and the aircon was on the whole time. There was no careful driving trying to eke out as much as possible, just normal usage. And after covering 600 kilometers, I still arrived at the destination with 98 kilometers of range left. That's just a sign of a drivetrain that does what it says it can do. Here's the bigger picture. The Jetour Dashing was the car that introduced the brand to South Africa. It built the trust, it carried the momentum, and it started the story. But every brand needs a next chapter. The T2 is that chapter. Launched mid-November 2025, it went on to sell 545 units in the same month, making up 44.5% of Jetour's total sales. That doesn't just happen by accident. It happens when a brand understands its market and delivers something that excites people without forgetting everyday usability. While the dashing may have lit the flame, the T2 is carrying it forward. It's bigger, it's stronger, it's more confident. This isn't just another new model in the lineup. It's a signal of where Jetour is going in South Africa. And based on this experience where the torch has been passed, the future looks very promising. I'm Newa, and this is the Jetour T2.